I always find it ironic when a movie that preaches and demonizes against technology is ironically the very same thing it's preaching against. I mean, let's face it, whether it's Facebook or video games, Keeping Up with the Kardashians or The Sopranos, The White House or The Apprentice.
You're fired. You're fired.
It's all just one big distraction. But if that distraction keeps my girlfriend from telling me to quit YouTube and get a real job, it's a distraction well worth having. So Ready Player One is Steven Spielberg's, the great Steven Spielberg's latest movie centered around this virtual reality world called The Oasis. So when the guy who created the Oasis suddenly dies, he leaves his entire fortune inside the Oasis, hidden in a golden egg, waiting for whoever wins this contest to find it. So this leads us to our main character, Wade Watts, who's played by Ty Sheridan. Ty Sheridan actually looks like a young Han Solo. I don't know why or if they even considered Ty Sheridan to be Han Solo, but if they didn't, then they definitely missed out because he has a look down pat. So we got this main character who honestly decides to join this contest because he, of course, is the main character. I mean, what else is he gonna do? But honestly, there's nothing better to do in the real world. Anyways, the real world in this movie fucking sucks. So in the Oasis, no one actually uses their real names or faces. Everything is just made up aliases and avatar used to disguise yourself. And honestly, have you seen Facebook lately, or Instagram or Twitter or any social media, or Snapchat or any social media? I mean, everyone's pretty much using fake faces anyways, because every time I look on Facebook, all my friends from high school all of a sudden became like models. Which is funny because the main character falls in love with an avatar without actually knowing who this girl is or what her name even is. So for all he knows, this he can be a she and could be some like fat guy named Justin.
My name's Justin.
I'm gonna take a stab at this.
Sure.
You're gay.
Obviously, I'm not gay.
Well, it's not so obvious. I mean, you are pretending to be a girl online and having a romantic relationship with a guy, so...
I give it to you. You got me there.
Right.
So, maybe.
But of course, she's not. She's actually pretty cute. But it would have been funny if it would have played out the other way. When this movie is in the game world, it's fantastic. Everything in the game world is everything you would want a fake reality world to be. When they're in the real world, it kind of sucks. You're kind of just like watching your clock like, okay, when are we gonna go back to the fun now? But I guess that's the point. You want the fake world to be better than the real world, because honestly, what's the point of having a fake world if it's not better than the real world? If that was the case, people would just be living in the real world. People won't be on Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat. We would be out in the park or out in the bar getting drunk with our friends. But no, I'm here in my house just filming YouTube. Directing wise, I mean, Steven Spielberg is Steven Spielberg. He's like the Alfred Hitchcock of today. But honestly, I still got to give him his credit. There is a scene in the beginning of this movie that actually introduces the Oasis, and it fucking feels like you're on a virtual reality like roller coaster. I was under the influence of marijuana, but I've seen other movies while I was high and I never got that virtual reality roller coaster feeling. So I'm pretty sure it's Steven Spielberg, not Mary Jane. But this is a movie you definitely gotta watch on the big screen. It is an experience. I gotta tell you guys, it's so fun to watch. You gotta watch it in the movie theater. Now this movie does have a shitload of movie references. There's Chucky, there's King Kong, there's Street Fighter, there's Speed Racer, but a lot of it is just filler. There are a couple of references that are used really well. The Shining, for one, definitely one of the movie's strongest scenes are when they include The Shining. Also, Iron Giant is in this. I was a big fan of the movie as a kid. I don't really think it holds up, but it was definitely there, and I like the reference. But my biggest problem, all in all, with the references were they were just there just to be there. They didn't really advance the story at all. If the movie didn't have all these references, it would have pretty much been the same movie. It wouldn't have changed much. Story-wise, I felt like it was a little forced. I didn't buy the love angle at all, especially in the beginning when a guy tells a girl he loves her without even knowing her. He honestly doesn't deserve her. But of course, it's a movie, so being a creep is irrelevant. I don't even know why Hollywood has this unwritten rule that every movie needs a love story. Not all movies need a love story. This movie did not need a love story for it to be good. Video games are about playing games, not playing chicks. Unless the game's in the real world, then there is a game of playing chicks, and if you play it well, you'll probably be very happy with yourself. Ben Mendelsohn is the villain in this movie. He's great. I can't really say anything bad about him, but between this movie and Rogue One, he's definitely going to be making a lot of money being the asshole for the future. But then again, what better way in America to be a millionaire than to be an asshole? Ready Player One is basically just Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory wrapped around 80s and 90s nostalgia. The Easter egg in this movie is obviously the golden ticket, and Wade Watts is basically Charlie. But other than that, story-wise, it's the same fucking shit. So Ready Player One is a 73% on Rotten Tomatoes with an audience score of 80%. This movie definitely has some flaws, especially with the weak character development and love story. So I can see why the critics have it in the low 70s. But honestly, I gotta side with the audience. I really love this movie. This movie was a movie about nostalgia, and it accomplished just that. With all these references in there, yes, a lot of them didn't move the story forward, but they make you feel good. And it's the same thing with video games, with movies, with all pop culture. It's not necessarily the art itself. It's a time capsule that art represents. It takes you back to a better time in your life. That song or that movie that you associate that feeling with is always going to be there. And honestly, that's one of the best bittersweet moments of life. Yes, that moment is over, but you did live that moment. And honestly, that's what life is all about. So anyways, guys, that's my review of Ready Player One. I definitely recommend go watching it. If you watch it, tell me what you think about it in the comments below. If you didn't watch it, tell me, are you gonna watch it? If not, you personally must have a vendetta against Steven Spielberg or this movie. So let me know what it is. We could always debate. I'm open for it. But with that said, guys, feel free to like and subscribe, and catch you on the next one.